Hi everyone, and welcome to this Business English podcast. In this video, you will listen to Richard, an American marketing manager who works in a tech startup in Milan. He will describe a typical working day, from arriving at the office to meetings, calls, lunch, colleagues, suppliers, and the small practical things that happen in a real workplace. This lesson is for B1 and B2 English learners who want to understand real office language. During the story, you will hear useful business vocabulary, natural phrases, and a few phrasal verbs. When a phrase may be difficult, Richard will explain it in simple English, so you can learn it while you listen. At the end, there will be comprehension questions. So listen carefully, take notes if you want, and try to understand both the story and the useful expressions. My name is Richard Miller. I'm from Austin, Texas, but I live in Milan now. I moved to Italy 2 years ago because I got a job as a marketing manager in a tech startup. We build software for small and medium-sized companies. Our platform helps teams organize customer conversations, marketing campaigns, and sales reports in one place. I usually start my day at around 7:15. I make coffee at home, check the weather, and look quickly at my calendar. I do not answer emails immediately because I try to protect my morning routine. In business English, when we say protect your time, we mean that you keep some time free for important work and do not let every message control your day. At about 8:15, I leave my apartment and take the metro to the office. Our office is near Porta Nuova, in a modern co-working building. A co-working building is an office space shared by different companies. It is common for startups because it is flexible, modern, and usually cheaper than renting a large private office. When I arrive, the first thing I do is use my badge at the entrance. In English, we pronounce it badge, not bedge. A badge is the small card or digital pass that lets you enter the building. Sometimes I forget mine at home, and then I have to check in at reception. To check in means to register your arrival. You can check in at a hotel, at an event, or at an office reception. Our workspace is open plan. That means there are not many private offices. Most people sit at desks in the same large room. My workstation is simple: a laptop, a second monitor, a keyboard, headphones, a notebook, and a water bottle. A workstation is your working area, usually your desk and equipment. I like to keep my desk clean because my day can get busy very fast. I also use noise-canceling headphones. In an open-plan office, people have quick conversations all the time, and headphones help me focus when I need to write or analyze data. At 9 o'clock, we have a short team stand-up. A stand-up is a quick meeting where people share what they are working on, what they finished, and whether they have any blockers. A blocker is a problem that stops you from moving forward. The meeting is called a stand-up because, in many companies, people literally stand during the meeting to keep it short. In our stand-up, I usually say something like, "Yesterday, I reviewed the campaign report. Today, I'm working on the landing page copy, and I need design feedback before noon." Landing page copy means the text on a web page, where a user arrives after clicking an ad, an email, or a social media post. After the stand-up, I check my task board. We use project management software with columns like to do, in progress, review, and done. My tasks are a mix of creative and analytical work. Some tasks are about writing, email campaigns, product messages, social media posts, and website copy. Other tasks are about numbers, conversion rates, cost per lead, campaign budget, and customer acquisition cost. Let me explain two useful terms. A lead is a person or company that may become a customer. Cost per lead is how much money we spend to get one potential customer. For example, if we spend 200 euros on ads and get 20 leads, our cost per lead is 10 euros. Around 9:30, I usually block out 1 hour for deep work. To block out time means to reserve time on your calendar for a specific task. Deep work is focused work without distractions. During this hour, I might write a campaign brief. A brief is a document that explains the goal, audience, message, deadline, and expected result of a project. Today, for example, I am preparing a campaign for a new feature in our software. The feature helps users summarize customer calls automatically. My job is to explain the benefit clearly. I do not want to say only our AI summarizes calls. That is too technical. I want to say save time after every customer call and never miss an important follow-up. A follow-up is the next action after a conversation, like sending an email, booking another meeting, or sharing a proposal. At 10:30, I have a call with a supplier. In this case, the supplier is a video production agency. We are planning a short product video, and they need information from us: the target audience, the main message, the deadline, the budget, and the approval process. Before the call, I look over my notes. To look over something means to review it quickly. This is a very useful phrasal verb in business English. You can say, "Can you look over this email before I send it?" It means, "Can you check it?" During the call, I try to be friendly but clear. We talk about deliverables. Deliverables are the concrete things a supplier must give you. For example, one 30-second video, 3 short clips for social media, subtitles, and 1 version with no music. We also talk about the timeline. Timeline means the schedule of a project from start to finish. Sometimes suppliers use very creative language, and I have to bring the conversation back to practical details. The phrase "bring something back to" means to return to a topic. I might say that creative direction sounds interesting, but let's bring it back to the budget and timeline for a moment. After the supplier call, I write a quick recap in our team chat. A recap is a short summary of what was discussed. I include action items. Action items are specific tasks that someone must complete after a meeting. For example, Richard sends product screenshots by Friday, or agency shares first storyboard next Tuesday. At around 11:15, I meet with Julia, our product manager. She is Italian, very organized, and great at asking difficult questions. We discuss the product message. Marketing wants a message that is simple and attractive, but product wants it to be accurate. That is a healthy tension in a good company. Different teams challenge each other in a professional way. Julia often says, "Can we back this up with data?" To back something up means to support it with evidence. If I say that our feature saves time, I need data, customer quotes, or examples to back it up. This phrase is extremely useful in business. Can you back up that claim? Or we need numbers to back this up. At noon, I usually review campaign performance. Performance means how well something is working. I open our analytics dashboard and check the main metrics. A metric is a number we use to measure something. I look at website visits, signups, demo requests, email open rates, click-through rates, and conversion rates. The conversion rate is the percentage of people who take the action we want. If 100 people visit a page and 5 request a demo, the conversion rate is 5%. In marketing, conversion rate is one of the most important numbers because it tells us whether our message and offer are working. Sometimes the numbers are good, and sometimes they are not. When a campaign is underperforming, it means it is doing worse than expected. Underperforming is a common business word. You can say, "This ad is underperforming," or "The email campaign is underperforming." It does not mean everything is terrible. It means we need to understand the problem and improve. At 1 o'clock, I go to the canteen with some colleagues. In the United States, I would usually say cafeteria, but in many international offices, people say canteen. It is the place where employees eat lunch. Our canteen has pasta, salads, sandwiches, fruit, and very strong espresso. I have learned that in Italy, lunch is not only food, it is also a relationship moment. At lunch, we do not only talk about work, we talk about football, travel, apartments, family, and weekend plans. This is important because relationships at work are not built only in formal meetings, they are also built in small daily conversations. In English, we sometimes call this small talk. Small talk means light conversation about everyday topics. It may seem simple, but it helps people feel comfortable with each other. I work with colleagues from Italy, Spain, France, Germany, and Poland. Because our team is international, we use English most of the time, but I also hear Italian all day, especially near the coffee machine. My Italian is improving, but when people speak very fast, I still get lost. To get lost in a conversation means you stop understanding what people are saying. After lunch, around 2 o'clock, I usually have a cross-functional meeting. Cross-functional means that people from different departments work together. In one meeting, we may have marketing, sales, product, customer success, and finance. These meetings can be very useful, but they can also become confusing if there is no clear agenda. An agenda is the list of topics for a meeting. If there is no agenda, people may talk for 40 minutes and still not make a decision. So I like to start with, what decision do we need to make today? That simple question saves a lot of time. In today's meeting, we discuss a webinar. A webinar is an online event, usually educational, where a company presents information to potential customers. Marketing wants to get more leads. Sales wants leads that are qualified. A qualified lead is a potential customer who is more likely to buy because they have the right need, budget, and timing. Sales gives us feedback from customer calls. They say that many prospects are interested in automation, but they are worried about privacy. A prospect is a potential customer, usually one that sales is already talking to. So we decide that the webinar should not only say automation saves time, it should also explain how our product protects customer data. At 3:30, I return to my desk and answer emails. Email can take over your day if you're not careful. To take over means to become too dominant or control too much. I try to answer urgent emails first and leave low-priority messages for later. One email is from our legal consultant. She asks us to change a sentence on the website because it sounds too strong. Instead of saying, "Our AI eliminates manual work," she suggests, "Our AI helps reduce manual work." That may seem like a small change, but in business communication, accuracy matters. If a claim is too strong, it can create risk. Another email is from a partner company. They want to co-host an event with us. To co-host means to organize something together. I like the idea, but I need to check the budget and team availability before I say yes. In business, it is useful to say, "Let me check internally and get back to you." To get back to someone means to reply later, usually after checking information. At 4 o'clock, I have one-on-one time with my manager, Elena. A one-on-one is a meeting between two people, often a manager and an employee. We talk about priorities, results, and any problems I need help with. A good one-on-one is not only a status update. A status update is when you explain what is happening. A good one-on-one is also a chance to ask for advice, discuss career goals, and remove blockers. Elena asks me what is on my plate this week. This is a useful idiom. What is on your plate means what responsibilities or tasks do you have right now. If you have too much work, you can say, "I have a lot on my plate." It is a natural phrase in business conversations. I tell her that my main priorities are the feature campaign, the supplier video, the webinar plan, and the monthly marketing report. She helps me prioritize. To prioritize means to decide what is most important. We agree that the landing page and webinar message are urgent, while the monthly report can wait until Friday. Around 4:45, I join a short call with the design team. We review the first visual ideas for the landing page. The designer shares her screen and walks us through the layout. To walk someone through something means to explain it step by step. For example, "Can you walk me through the report?" means, "Can you explain the report to me?" We discuss the headline, the call to action button, and the screenshots. A call to action, often called a CTA, is the instruction that tells the user what to do next. Common CTAs are book a demo, start free trial, or download the guide. I suggest making the CTA more specific. Instead of learn more, I prefer book a 15-minute demo. It tells the user exactly what will happen. Clear language usually performs better than vague language. At 5:30, I start wrapping up. To wrap up means to finish something. You can wrap up a meeting, a project, or a working day. I update my task board, send 2 quick messages, and write my top 3 priorities for tomorrow. This helps me start the next morning with less stress. Before leaving, I check if anyone needs something urgent from me. Startup culture can be intense. There's always another idea, another test, another deadline. But I have learned that working late every day does not make you a better manager. Good work also needs rest, clear thinking, and good communication. At around 6:15, I leave the office. Sometimes I go to an Italian class, sometimes I meet friends, and sometimes I just walk home through the city. Milan is busy, stylish, and fast, but I like it. It feels different from Texas, of course, but my workday has a rhythm now. If I had to summarize my job in one sentence, I would say this. A marketing manager turns product value into clear messages, useful campaigns, and measurable results. It is creative, but it is not only creative, it is also analytical, collaborative, and very practical. Before we finish, let's review a few useful expressions from today. Check-in means to register your arrival. Look over means to review something quickly. Back something up means to support it with evidence. Get back to someone means to reply later. Walk someone through means to explain something step by step. Wrap up means to finish. And I have a lot on my plate means I have many tasks or responsibilities. Now, here are your comprehension questions. Question 1. Where does Richard work and what is his role? Question 2. What is a badge used for in his office building? Question 3. What happens during the morning stand-up meeting? Question 4. What does Richard mean when he says he needs to back up a marketing claim? Question 5. Why does Richard say lunch is also a relationship moment? Question 6. What is a qualified lead? Question 7. What does the phrase "I have a lot on my plate" mean? Question 8. At the end of the day, what does Richard do to prepare for tomorrow? Thanks for listening. Try to answer the questions out loud, then listen again and notice the business expressions in context. See you in the next lesson.